To be or not to be? That is the question.
Why is that the question? What does it even mean? Well, I've got a B key on my keyboard. Maybe if I... What's happened to my health and my haunches? Wait, creative mode? It couldn't be. Welcome back, everybody, to Minecraft The Journey with me, BugmanCX. Minecraft The Journey is the Let's Play series where we're upgrading this survival world all around me here from the earliest versions of Minecraft right the way through to the current modern day release. And in this series, we explore the changes made to the game as they were introduced, and we discover new features, new bugs and quirks, and then we just keep on upgrading through all of the different versions as we go. Recently, we reached the milestone of release 1.0, a pretty big milestone for the game, and since then, we've been exploring the Minecraft 1.1 snapshots. These are the features that are going to be added in the next version, Minecraft 1.1. Right now, we're on snapshot 11W49A, which was released on December the 8th, 2011. And, this is an interesting one. Let's go explore. I'm playing this game in survival mode, which means that I have to go off and gather resources to build things, I have to manage my health and my hunger, I can take damage, I can die, I can lose items, mobs attack me, all sorts of things like that. But in these snapshot versions, quite often, debug features will get added by accident normally, and one of those is very interesting in this snapshot. If you press the B button in this version, you'll see that my hotbar changes. My hearts have disappeared, my XP bars disappeared, my hunger haunches have disappeared. I'm actually in, effectively, creative mode. But I'm not actually in creative mode because creative mode is a game mode. Pressing B has given me a whole bunch of abilities that gives me access to features that are very similar to creative mode. We've all heard of game modes before. Effectively, there are only two. When I create a new world, I'm given the option for the game mode to be survival or hardcore, which isn't actually technically a game mode, it's just a different style of playing survival, and game mode creative. So for the purposes of this, we have game mode survival and game mode creative. When I create this new world and generate it like this, if you take a look at the level.dat file that was generated for this world, you can see that it stored the game mode in this field called game type, but it's game mode 1, creative mode. Similarly, when you create a new survival world, you'll see that the game mode is set to 0, survival mode. So what is going on here? Well, at the moment you can see that I'm clearly in survival mode. I have my hearts and my haunches, everything seems normal, and on the right hand side of the screen I have NBT Explorer up showing my level.dat file. If you take a look, you can see that my game type is currently 0, which is what we expect to see in survival mode. So if I come back here and press the B key, my hearts and my haunches disappear. It feels like I'm in creative mode. I've got access to the creative menu. I can even fly, which is pretty cool in itself. And let's go and see what's happened in my NBT Explorer window. If I refresh the level.dat file, you'll see that my game type is still 0. That means that I have access to these creative mode features, but technically it's still survival mode. Isn't that cool? I think that's pretty cool. Let's see what happens if I press the B key again. We go back to this effectively survival mode. Let's go over to NBT Explorer and take a look. I need to refresh it before I do that. Game type is still 0. So what's going on? Let's have a look inside of the player entries here. There's an abilities section, and inside of here are 4 abilities: flying, insta-build, invulnerable, and mayfly. These are all of the abilities that we associate with creative mode normally, and look what happens when I press the B key. Going back to my game here in survival mode, press the B key, we see the hearts and the haunches disappear. Let's go back over here to level.dat, do a refresh, and suddenly flying, insta-build, invulnerable, and mayfly are all enabled. So all of these abilities have been enabled for my player, and now I can take full advantage of them effectively in survival mode. Amazing. Let's just go back again by pressing B once more and hop over to NBT Explorer, do one more quick refresh, and you'll see that these abilities are now disabled. What's also interesting about this is that if I press this and go into this effectively creative mode, and then go out of my world, and then go back into the world, it resets me. It always puts me back in this survival mode. In other words, it disables those abilities every time. Let's try out some of these new abilities, shall we? The first thing we need to do is pop ourselves into this magical creative-like mode. So B, there we go. And the first ability that I think I want to try out is flying. Now we can fly by double tapping space, just like we do in creative mode. And look at that. I'm flying around the Notch Village. I wouldn't really call it flying though, because if you look at the character, it's more like levitating, isn't it? Because we're walking in the sky. I'm not really sure why this is called flying, but look at that. We get a great view of the sheep area, and I can go up quite high into the sky indeed. There's the Notch Village. Over in the distance down there is Lake Goop, but it's interesting that those portal blocks don't render in and you can see the underside of the lake from this distance. But we can get quite high into the sky now, right above the clouds in fact. Not even sure how high we can go, probably infinitely. And if I press F3 and bring that back up, we can actually see our Y level increasing and increasing and increasing. Yeah, I'm just going to go on forever, aren't I? But of course, to get back down, I can double press the space bar again, which didn't seem to work, so I'll do it again. There we go. Something must have gone wrong there. And quite rapidly, I land back onto the ground, and I don't take any damage because, of course, I'm invulnerable. There are some... Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Let's just fix that. Oh, look, this is the wonders of creative mode. There are some situations where flying around the world is really convenient. So take this base of mine, for example. As you know, it's made up of all sorts of levels. You have to cross from one side to the other, scoot around and up stairways just to get around to the different sections of the base. But of course, with flying mode, that makes this entire design quite redundant. I can just fly to all the different areas that I need. Oh, look, I need to go to the skeleton farm. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I want to go down here to this section. I can just fly there and have a look around. Really, really easy. And because I'm invulnerable, I can drop down these levels with no penalty whatsoever. In fact, I can probably jump in the void hole. Let's see what happens. Oh, I'm taking damage. No. I've just lost everything. Never mind. Most of my tools were nearly dead anyway. Hey, but look at that. Look at my hotbar. My hotbar is full up of these blocks, just like what happens when you enter a new creative world. In these old versions, at least, the toolbar gets pre-populated with a bunch of blocks, none of which are very useful, and I usually get rid of them because I don't like looking at them. But it's interesting that when you respawn in your bed, you end up with these blocks again. Well, I think that since I lost all of my tools down in the void hole there, I might as well go get some diamonds, right? But why bother when I can just pull up this menu, go down here and pick up myself a new sword, a new shovel, a new pickaxe, and of course, a new axe. Get rid of these things, I hate them. Just like that, we got a brand new set of tools. Unfortunately, I need to enchant them all, which is where the grind comes in. There's just no way to abuse this mode to get enchanted tools at the moment. I suppose I could grind whilst in this invulnerable state and mobs would never attack me, but since I have mob farms, that really doesn't matter. So, basically, I've learned my lesson. Don't trust the void. The moon base looks cool from up here. Now, I mentioned in this mode that my player is invulnerable, so I won't take, for example, fall damage. I don't take damage from any mobs or explosions or anything like that, but also you might notice that as I'm looking around at these Endermen, they don't even respond. I can't make them aggressive by looking at them, and they shouldn't be able to attack me either, so I'm just gonna see what happened. Hey. Okay, looks like they still get aggressive at me even though I'm in this mode. But it looks like I'm pretty safe because they can't do any damage to me. All right, let's see what happens. Can we aggravate the entire end island? I mean, this could be interesting. Oh my gosh. Can you hear that? I've got a whole circus of them behind me. Oh, look how many there are. Check this out. Listen to that magic. Oh, get it. Look at their little faces. They're just so angry at me. But but you can't touch me. Is this what it's like when famous people sign autographs? Ah! There's just so many. Ah! The final mode is Insta-Build, and Insta-Build is the cheatiest of all cheaty modes if there ever was a cheaty thing to ever cheat. And the reason for that is that I can break blocks with just a single punch like this. Don't worry that I'm destroying all of these blocks in this amazing build, because I can just go into the creative menu, find the blocks that I need, wooden planks, take just one, and then place them all back down again. So I can just have the item in my hotbar. I don't have to have a stack of them or anything, and I can just keep placing them for as many as I need to and never ever run out. I can also combine this with flying mode so I can get up to these hard to reach places. Let's say I want to do this for some reason and make it look like it's got a retro haircut. But there's another side to this insta-build mode. If I open the item selection screen, you'll see some blocks here that I shouldn't normally have access to. I'm sure you've spotted one or two already. Let's just get a chest and place it down on the ground here and go back into this menu and have a look through these blocks here. The first one I'm spotting, of course, Bedrock. Now I should never be able to obtain Bedrock in survival mode, but here I can just pull it out of the creative menu. What else have we got here? Well, we've got an infinite supply of moss stone, which you can only get from dungeons, but that one doesn't quite count because you can get it from within the world. Let's see. We've also got cobwebs. They're all over the world, but at the moment you can't pick them up from anywhere. Going through this list as well, we've got the dead bush. The dead bush, again, it's around in the world, but you can't currently harvest it. Of course, sponge, which was added all the way back in Classic, and now it's obtainable from this menu, even if it doesn't currently do anything from within the game. Here we've also got, going down, we've got the fern. The fern was obtainable for a little while in previous versions when it did generate, but at the moment, it's not generating anywhere naturally in the world, so it's not possible to go out and farm this particular one at the moment. And if we scroll down a bit further, we're going into the item territory now, but there is one item which we can get access to, which we didn't have access to previously, and that is the chainmail. I'm just going to drop those onto the ground. Chainmail. This has been in the game, again, since in-dev, but it was only ever craftable with the fire recipe, and that doesn't work in these versions, so the only way to get chainmail is from this creative menu. So let's just pick this up and go into the chest here, and let's pop the armor in here. That looks so weird because I've never seen it in this game like this before. We've got bedrock, we've got cobweb, we've got dead bush, we've got sponge, and we've got fern. There is one other item, actually, which I realize is not present in this chest. Let's just scroll down a little bit, and that is down here, the records. These records were added many versions ago. I forget exactly which version now, but there was no way to obtain them within the game. Even the whole skeleton dropping from a creeper doesn't work. So here we're actually able to obtain all of the different records illegitimately. Not legitimately. This isn't very legitimate, is it? And I think there's a couple more. Yes, a couple more. So now we've actually got access to all of the records within the game too. So we can pop all of these into the chest. And I think that's everything. But we do actually have to remove Cat and 13 because these were the first two discs originally added to the game. And now this chest is full of everything currently unobtainable as far as I know. Well, since we have access to insta-build and all these abilities, why don't we use them to our advantage and do some creative building? I've finished my build and I've been doing all of this in insta-build mode, which, as we know, gives me the ability to place down any block of my choice and destroy it with ease. And so we have used this to create what I call the Bedrock Bar. As you can see from out the front here, we have this brick frontage, which is accented by the sponge block and the bedrock block. Let me fly around because I can. I wanted to use these blocks because these are blocks that are not normally accessible in the vanilla game, and so I wanted to just make good use of them, make them pop, make them stand out. But let's go and have a little bit of a tour of the Bedrock Bar. Here we have our entryway, of course, and once we go inside, being sure to close the gate behind us, we can see this welcoming little bar area here with lots of seating areas and things like that. We got a dance floor here made of sponge and gold right in front of the DJ box here, the DJ booth. And here, of course, we have this amazing looking giant bar with a huge chandelier hanging down from the center of the ceiling here. And if we go round the side here, we can enter the bar area as if we were working here at the bar. And you can see behind us here we have a shelf full of some glassware, we have some storage and things like that, and some potions that are being brewed up here. I should say some beverages weakness. Sounds delicious. And in these chests around the place here, including over here, we have all of the items that were accessible in the creative menu for items that are not accessible in the regular vanilla survival game at the moment. So you can see all of those items, but also at the back of the bar here, we've got this chest here dedicated to the chainmail, which of course is inaccessible. And this one here, which has the extra music discs not currently available in vanilla survival Minecraft, at least not yet. Up here, we also have some other items in these chests here available in the creative menu, but I'm going to come back to that in the next episode. Through this way, we have a little garden here made up of ferns and dead bushes, of course, things that you can't get in the vanilla game at the moment, a little entertaining area, and of course, some staircases going up to the second level. So let's have a look around up here. We've got plenty of spaces for people to... Oh, there's a missing chair here. Let's fix that right now. We'll just pop that chair back. I don't know what happened there, but we've got these spaces for people to eat, drink, and be merry with, of course, some great views of the chandelier and the bar area down below here. Over here in the corner, we have the Sponge Spa, max capacity 10 persons. This is just if you want to, relax and have a bit of a spa. I wanted to make use of the sponge and bring it into the build somehow, so this was the best way to do it. And over here, we have the Sundowner Terrace where you can sit out and enjoy the sunset, which is about to happen. So let's head upstairs and see what's happening. Up on the roof, we have the rooftop sunset bar. Out the back, if we look over to the left, we can see all of our sheep here. We have some that seem to have become mixed up. I need to do some organizing work and fix all of that up. It happens from time to time. But up here, we have the sunset rooftop bar with an umbrella over this table here and plenty of areas, again, for people to eat and drink and enjoy. You've got your nice view of the sunset going over Notch's village here, and you can enjoy that. This is also accessible via this little step-up area here. So if you're coming up from this way, you've actually got direct access to the rooftop section, which is pretty cool. Well, we're going to miss the sunset because I want to head back downstairs and have a look at a couple of things. Yeah, we've seen this, haven't we? Oh yeah, a little fern garden. Isn't that nice? And down here behind the dead bush fern garden, we have access to the bathrooms, of course, because if you don't have bathrooms, then you're going to go through a world of pain because you're going to want to pee and there's going to be nowhere to do it. So here we have a couple of little bathrooms here. You can do your business right here and then wash your hands here and close the door behind you. Another one here, a little bit smaller, but pretty much the same. And of course, we've got a couple of pictures here denoting that if you're people that look like this, go in here, and if you're people that look like that, go in there, or something like that. But wait, what's this? What is that? Let's try that again. I saw something here. Look, something behind the picture. All right, let's go. Oh, that's right.
Oh no, there's a skeleton in here. We've got a little speakeasy bar. Oh, and a creeper. I need to resolve the lighting issues in here. I didn't think mobs could spawn on Bedrock, but I think that's only later on in the game. So this is a disaster area at the moment. At least the creeper can't explode the bedrock. That's one thing. But this is a little speakeasy bar, a hidden bar inside of the main bar that you can access if you know how to access it. Whoop! You don't want to get caught up in there. You might get squished. But that's it. That is the Bedrock Bar, and I'm quite happy with this build. It was a lot of fun to make, and doing it with the insta-build mode and access to all the blocks without having to sift through chests or go off and resource gather is really quite good. But unfortunately, that's not how you play the survival game. But because I knew that we could access this creative-like mode in our survival world, I wanted to have at least one build where we celebrated that particular feature for this version only, because this feature will get removed in the next version, of course. That's all we have time for in today's episode, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. I certainly did. It was interesting to build in this world in a slightly different way than normal, and actually it was quite good to get back into building again because we haven't really built anything for so long, so that was fun to do. If you enjoyed the video, then please feel free to let me know in the comments below. Subscribe for more content like this and share with your friends to help my channel grow. I want to say a huge thank you to all of my patrons for supporting me. You can do the same thing too by just clicking the links down in the description below, or you can just join my Discord and come over and hang out for a bit if you want. I'll see everybody in the next episode where we have some really fun stuff to explore in these chests right above my head here. This is going to be interesting. If you know what it is, please try not to spoil it in the comments below for everyone else. But I'll see you all there. Thank you once again. This has been Bugman CX. You've been watching Minecraft: The Journey. Bye-bye.